President, honourable members, it is somewhat unusual that we are briefing Parliament of the outcomes of the European Council that happened in December, when tomorrow we have again a meeting of heads of state and government, because this shows the reality of the times that we are in. When European leaders met in December, the stakes were high, but Europe managed to secure Ukraine's funding needs for 26 and 27. We felt that we reached a degree of stability and we were ready to turn a page and begin a new year. Barely a month later, we find ourselves confronted with new challenges and increasingly volatile global context. Once again, wherever we look, crises are accumulating. Russia's brutal war against Ukraine is showing no sign of abating. The humanitarian situation in Gaza remains dire. Iran killed thousands of protesters. The multilateral order is fraying under pressure. And Europe's sovereignty, our freedom to decide our own future, is increasingly being tested. We face complex, interconnected challenges in every direction. As many of you said during this debate, we must preserve a sense of urgency and redouble our efforts to strengthen our political unity. In a time when there is a weaponization of everything, we must ensure that European Union security, from hybrid threats to economic security, from cyber attacks to critical raw materials, is there. Allow me to briefly summarize key points. First, Europe must develop a strong and credible defence posture. Russia's continued military build-up is not theoretical, it is real. It is ongoing and it directly threatens European security. The role of the European Parliament as a co-legislator is essential to swiftly adopt the programmes and legislation needed to advance our defence readiness. It requires speed, scale and political will. Security underpins everything we value. Without it, there can be no education, healthcare or infrastructure. From my time as Prime Minister, I know how hard budget talks can be, but investing in defence is essential to protecting what really matters. So we will continue to rely on your support on defence-related funding and for the CFCP budget in the negotiations in the next multi-annual financial framework. Second, we must continue to place the interests of European citizens at the very heart of our actions. Uncertainty has become a daily reality for many people. Economic insecurity combined with polluted social media networks creates fertile ground for destabilisation. We must strengthen Europe's competitiveness and build partnerships with countries that share our interests and concerns on economic security. Expanding our trade ties and diversifying supply chains is the best way forward to ensure that European Union economy can grow and we can deliver for our citizens. We stand for more trade, not for more trade barriers. And third, we must treat foreign interference as a top political priority and recognise the urgent need for greater ambition and resources to fight back. We need to counter false narratives that target Europe more decisively. And we also must tell our own story better, the story of what Europe delivers, of values it stands for and protects at home and around the world. And fourth, despite disagreements, the fundamental principle stands. The partners stick together. We will maintain pragmatic engagement and uphold strong, balanced transatlantic partnership. In every alliance, there are moments of open disagreement, but Europe will not junk 80 years of transatlantic relations. At the same time, we will defend our interests and values whenever necessary. Decisions about Europe are taken in Europe. This applies to our security, our way of life and social model, our freedoms and prosperity, our regulatory autonomy and our commitment to human rights and the rules-based international order. Honourable members, beyond today's turbulence, the coming year will be decisive for strengthening Europe's unity, both internally as well as externally. Our credibility abroad depends on our consistency at home. I trust that this Parliament will continue playing a crucial role for shaping Europe's strength. Thank you very much.
Grazie.